Howdy friends, thanks again for joining me in my game room. I am David McCord, a game collector and game designer and game maker and collaborator with Red Hen Toys in bringing you a series of games called Peg Pastimes. These are historical strategy games, some very ancient games, including this one, which is called Five Lines. The game of Five Lines is one of the oldest board games ever discovered, dating back to the ancient Greek civilization. There was known as Pente Grammai. Around 600 BC, the Greek poet Alcaeus referred to the game in one of his poems. Clay game boards have been found dating back before that period, so we know it's a very ancient game. During the decades around 500 BC, the Athenians wrote that Ajax and Achilles played the game during the siege of Troy. That inspired them to call it the Game of Heroes. The game became very popular in Rome as well, where it was played on a board with an arrangement of squares instead of lines. So let's take a look at the rules and see how to play Five Lines. Hey there friends, please excuse the interruption, but something that I didn't really make clear in these instructions was the fact that these games that are 2,000 years old and more, nobody really knows what the rules are. And this particular set of rules that I put into this video is only one variation, one guess really, of how the game should be played. So if you are interested in other alternatives, you find that these rules are not to your liking, they're awkward, whatever it might be, by all means, do some research, Google it, and look into alternative rule sets. And that's true not just of this game, but a lot of these historic games. So that's it. So now back to our regularly scheduled program. The game begins with each player's set of pegs lined up on their side of the center line. This center line is called the sacred line. The pegs will be moved anti-clockwise around the board, the objective being to get them into the opposite half of the sacred line. We'll call that position their home row. On each turn, the active player rolls a die and moves a peg that many spaces if possible. A peg can pass over any other peg without a penalty. There are no captures and no pegs are returned home like in many other race games. The results of a die roll can't be used if another peg is in the final position of a move. In that case, the turn is over without moving. However, if a die result can be used, it must be used. And if more than one peg can be legally moved, you can choose which one to move. The spaces on the sacred line are a little bit unique. When you land a peg in the outermost space of your own home row, it's reached its goal. It should be positioned all the way to the innermost hole and stay there. Once they're home, pegs can't leave. One more important rule about going home. None of your pegs can enter your home row until all of your pegs have left their starting positions and are on the outer circle of holes. If an opponent's peg sits at the outer space of your home row, your peg can't enter and must move on past the sacred line. That peg will have to make another circuit of the board and try again on the next pass. Also, if the space is blocked, your pegs can't leave their home row either. Careful use of die results are essential to this game, as well as knowing when to block an opponent and when to make a run for the home row. So you can see similarities here between Five Lines and other race games like Pachisi and even Sorry. Even Backgammon, they're all branches of the same evolutionary tree, moving your pieces to a safe haven in order to win the game. The Game of Heroes isn't often played all that much anymore, but Five Lines is available in a few commercial incarnations, including this one, which is part of our Peg Pastimes series from NewVenture Games, which is distributed by Red Hen Toys. So if you enjoy learning about Five Lines and you'd like to learn more about other historical games, game theory, game techniques, even modern games, perhaps even games that don't exist yet, please tune in, please subscribe, ring the little bell so that you'll get notified when we have a new episode and new information to share with you. So that's it, the game of 5 lines. And so I hope you enjoyed this, and as I say, be sure to play every day.